Right. Hey, y'all. It's me. It's Terra Queen Jamila. So I decided to do a Nature Boy and Eliana psychic reading and the other wives. Obviously, if you are here, more than likely, you're probably either familiar with the situation with Nature Boy and Eliana. And I decided to do another psychic reading on them because of the recent events that have happened. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I wanted to get a clear picture of stuff. So I went ahead and threw out a bunch of cards before I turned on the camera. And so, yeah, this reading is very, very straight to the point. And then I can also see the other energies that are around with the other wives. I decided to go ahead and look into that because, to be honest with you, the others are not necessarily that interesting, but they are, because they are affecting Eliana, because we know that the lovers are Eliana and Nature Boy. That is the lovers, right? And so this is what I want to tell you about the recent events. And then I'll get into the cards. So just recently, there was like a mental meltdown. There was like a meltdown. And I think the reason why is because when a woman has a baby, she needs a lot of time alone. I don't care if you live in nature. I don't care where you live. The mother and the baby needs to have time alone. The mother, the baby, and the father. Okay? And it doesn't need to be that many outsiders, especially being that Eliana only has one child. This is her firstborn, from what we can see. And so it, you know, and I wanna just, you know, commend her for her strength, because to be a woman and to have a man that is a polygamist, and you're dealing with seeing other women, him flirting with other women, and when you have a baby, you already have body image issues. So that can be really difficult. And yeah, that can lead to insecure feelings. It can, you know, I think that even in the strongest woman, you know, so the situation that she's in is one that I feel is in the spirits. Let's talk about the reading. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button though, thumbs up. Okay. And if you need a private reading, the link to my website is below. I am a professional spiritualist, but I'm also a human being. And I started following these people, I started following Carbonation, and I don't really follow them. So this is the point of doing the reading, because people that are following them, they possibly have a better bead on things than I do, because they've been following them for, consistently. And I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time to follow nobody on YouTube. I wish I had that kind of time to waste, y'all. I don't. I am constantly doing rituals for people, constantly doing spiritual work for people. But this touched my heart a whole lot because of the domestic violence. And it was domestic violence. It was. Hey, Diana, hello. It was domestic violence, and it was very triggering, especially for women like me, because I'm a domestic violence survivor. I think I survived. I haven't decided whether or not I'm in the spirit realm or the actual world yet. I haven't decided that yet. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so I've been through that. And it's a very similar situation, And so let's take a look at what's going on. I am not biased, in my readings at all. I was on here and I was being very biased a few nights ago. I told myself I wasn't going to react emotionally to stuff anymore. And I ended up doing it anyway. So the relationship as of now is the Queen of Wands, and it's in the reverse position. So there's this primal draw to each other because she has his baby. He's very probably, he's probably very well endowed. Okay. So I feel like that's where it's at. I feel like this represents, the two of them wanting each other, but then again, not wanting each other. A lot of their cards came up in the reverse position, but a lot of them came up in the upright position. So I feel like the relationship as of now is purely of a primal instinct. I really do. It's more so of, this is the baby daddy, this is the daddy, and this is who I'm with. That's what I really feel like it is at this point. And even on their platform, they're making a big deal about saying, and he's saying, you're my family, you're my woman, that's my baby. The spirit still feels as though there's a problem, and that's why that Queen of Wands came up in the reverse position, because they feel as though the Three of Swords comes up. So Eliana doesn't really fare. She's not really doing well in this third party relationship. There's also somebody I can sense that one of the women that are there, the reason why Eliana feels insecure about the situation sometimes is because she feels as though he's going to put this woman before her, or maybe even this woman is going to take her position. Okay. Which, see, this is what I was saying. If you're going to truly be in a polygamous or a polyamorous relationship, stop with all the ranking. I feel like the ranking is what's doing them in. Stop trying to have some kind of ranking, of who is the chiefess and who is above whoever. Just a suggestion. But I feel like that's in another card fell out. The Queen of Cups is in the reverse position. So I feel like there's some negative emotions. There's some negative emotions right there. You can also see another woman getting ready to get pregnant, and Eliana just had a baby. So can you imagine having a baby and then another baby is about to come? I just became a grandma. I couldn't even imagine. I guess that would be, I don't know. It just depends on where your headspace is at. But I feel like there's another child. I can sense another child is what I can sense. Another child that is either about to be thought of. And I feel as though it's not a good thing to just go out and, okay, just because you're living in nature doesn't mean that you should just get several women pregnant at the same time. Because how do you know that you're emotionally, because Nature Boy couldn't even handle Eliana's pregnancy emotionally. And, a lot of the negative emotions that are there is possibly what led to her birth not being what it is that she wanted. And it was fear. There's a lot of fear. So having a child can be very intimate. They've got like upwards to 15 or 20 people there. That's a lot of people. And I remember when I gave birth to my youngest child, my youngest daughter by my ex, not my youngest child, but my youngest daughter. And well, actually not my youngest daughter, the second to the youngest daughter, my daughter, Danielle. I remember giving birth to her, and I remember her father inviting these people up to the hospital that I had no idea who they were. Now, I didn't know these people, but it was somebody that he knew. And, it was like a female, and it was a stud or something. And the female was like trying to be in the delivery room with me. And I was like, get out. So he should have had a midwife or a doula or somebody there and I think he complained about the midwife or something. Spirit guides, clarify the Queen of Cups. So there's a lot of different traumas that Eliana already suffered during the pregnancy. I'm going to be honest with you. She is sort of being brainwashed and pushed into being in this relationship that she doesn't really feel comfortable with. She doesn't feel comfortable with being several concubines of one man. She doesn't. She doesn't. Hey, Michelle and Molly or Maylee. Yep. Yeah, the midwife said Eliana smelled like a pig in Spanish. Oh my God. Well, I don't even want to, I'm not, you know what, because this is at the end of the day, I'm not here to speak negatively about Eliana. I actually, a lot of us really care about Eliana and we care about her well-being. So we're not here. Wow. That's crazy. And see, a lot of that has to do with, well, then get another midwife then. So that particular midwife sort of, interfered with the birth or whatever. I can't speak to whatever Eliana smells like. I know that I've had people that I don't even know have said that I smell bad, and I know I don't smell bad. So There are people that have never even met you that will say that you stink. So maybe there's some racism or something going on there. I'm not real sure. I do know that, I heard that the whole thing with the midwife did not work out. So, I don't, like I said, I don't follow them that closely. Let me clarify. Queen of Cups reverse. Spirits, give me some clarity. And that sound like that midwife kind of hexed her then a little bit. Yeah, the Two of Swords comes up. So Eliana, emotionally, she is already detached from the relationship as much as possible, but it's not a good situation. She's not feeling good about being in that situation. And I can explain why, because I threw the cards on the other wives. And so yeah. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. You should have gotten another midwife. Okay. So Eliana's feelings are the Three of Cups in the reverse position. I don't feel that Eliana is happy. I don't. She's not. She's not happy. There's an aspect of her astrological chart that she needs to be alone. She needs to be alone. She needs to be able to sit in a room, whether or not she's in front of a TV, looking at soap operas, eating bonbons, crying and breastfeeding her baby. She needs some kind of release. I don't feel that she's happy in the relationship. And the reason why is because she has to share him with other women. Okay. Now, his feelings is the Ten of Swords. So he feels very betrayed. First of all, how did these people online get that address over there? Now, I understand that the Mexican police can possibly find anybody in any location. And then I heard that they were already doing research. But right now, I feel as though he is feeling betrayed with the Ten of Swords. I feel like a lot of the stuff that they show on camera is for show. I think that they are actually very, they are in a very unhappy place in the relationship. And I feel like he's happy, he's unhappy. I feel like both of them are at a place where they are possibly releasing. And so they're just sort of, because what I noticed, the energy surrounding Nature Boy was the energy of defeat. But then the energy around her was that she was just sort of coping with her current situation. And a lot, this is what I want to tell you. I don't believe that she was necessarily, she was they're all sort of faking it. They're going through a lot of changes, and I can tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm just looking at what's going on in the relationship, because I've been wanting to make some kind of sense of this for other people and even for them, hopefully, they will see this and they will, take the advice from the reading, and it's not that I'm trying to, because I know that, the whole consensus is, oh, the government and the white man wants to keep you from me. But in reality, the only person that can push a woman away from you is you. And if you truly love a woman and you are a polygamist that feels as though you should just be able to be with any woman that you want, and this just be the way you should live, and it doesn't matter. But to the woman that loves you, her mind is going to tell her, if he really loved me, he would forsake all of these women for me. And he's done that in so many ways. The whole hair cutting ritual was nice. But at the end of the day, he's still sleeping with these other women. And while this woman was recovering from childbirth, he was sleeping with these other women. What's wrong with you where you can't wait 4 to 6 weeks? If she's healing, if the mother of your baby is healing from having the baby, then why can't you heal with her? So he probably needed to do that. But in his mind, he thinks, I just got to keep having sex because he's a pleasure seeker. All those women bring him pleasure. Okay, physical pleasure. But emotionally, he can't really deal with all of those women. And all of those women's emotions are manifesting in Eliana. Because she's the center point. She's the focus of all of those women. Regardless of what we can say, he's got all these other wives, but everybody goes through her. She's manifesting everybody. She's picking up on everybody's emotions. She is the empress. That's why she gave birth to a child. Now, there's going to be another baby that's going to come into the world, and that just means that he's going to have 2 or 3 empresses in one place. So it's going to be double, triple trouble because he doesn't know exactly what he's doing because he's a patriarchal person. If he were to actually empower these women, then, I mean, they probably wouldn't want to be with him in the first place, you know, regardless to how cute he is. He thinks he's cute. So, you know, he's going to have to get in touch with his inner self so that these women can want him not just for his penis, but for his mind. And, you know, they do want him for his mind, but he's definitely going through a meltdown period. All of those people's emotions are manifesting through Eliana. That's why they're all quiet and calm. But everybody's inner focus and inner feelings. And I think she has a moon in Cancer. I think she said that she has a moon in Cancer. And if you have a moon in Cancer, oh my God. Because I'm a Cancer sun, which means that I've got all of the positive aspects of the Cancer. But if you're a Cancer moon, I think she said that, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? I'm going to tell her something. It's literally, you are the sacrificial lamb. That's why all of the focus is on her. So what she would have to do is she would have to be powerful enough to guide and lead those other women, but she's not. And the reason why is because her inner child still needs a lot of work, a lot of work. Okay. Now, another thing, I feel like what the spirits are saying is that Eliana does not like being in a polygamous relationship. So she's telling him, I love you. But you know what? In the long run, I want somebody where me and him, we sitting in a little old cottage. This is what I'm picking up on that from her. At the end of the day, we having a bang, bang good time with all these women, with all these other women. But this is just a temporary pleasurable thing. You know, there's not a whole lot of balance there, even though they've got men and women there and they keep trying to balance it. But it's very, very imbalanced because you've got one woman that just had a baby and you've got other women that are fertile. And then you've got other women that are going through what they're going through. And I've got the cards laid out on them, the energies that are coming in to Eliana from them, from her perspective, because the other wives, they don't really have a storyline. They're just kind of like the supporting factor. Eliana and Nature Boy are the storyline. You know, the other women are just like there to just kind of support the situation. And really, a lot of people were saying, sorry guys, I'll be right back. A lot of people were saying that they are acting. I don't think so. I don't think they're acting. I think that they're acting when they act happy. But when they have a very low moment or a bad moment, I don't think that they're acting. And I think that that's the whole point, is to bring you that raw energy. Okay, I'm coming back, y'all. I'm coming back on camera. Now, the card that I got for their obstacles and blocks is the Justice card in the reverse position, and this also represents judgment. Oh, I turned on the camera. This also represents judgment. Hold on, guys. I will be right back. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm coming back. Give me a second. Okay, guys, so let's look at the obstacle, major arcana, the Justice card in the reverse position. So first of all, they are currently under investigation. Y'all under investigation. Y'all been under investigation. They watching. Okay, so that's an obstacle. But looking deeper into the relationship, they can't seem to find that inner balance or inner peace between the two of them. Because that's why it's the back and forth. You know, one day they're getting along, the next day I'm sorry, guys. Now my daughter is coming in here. Give me a second. You guys, that's crazy. Okay, so the Justice card in the upright position represents balance and inner peace. Okay. And then also in a relationship, justice in the upright position represents the other person upholding their obligation to that person. Okay. And the relationship doesn't really have a stable ground to it. It doesn't. As soon as they find inner peace, someone else's intent goes into the situation, and then and then Eliana picks up on it, and then Nature Boy picks up on it, and then bam. And then also I feel like the Justice card represents Nature Boy's idea of the male's role in the relationship. I'm gonna jump off cam real quick, guys. So I can talk about this real quick because it ain't about what I look like right now. It's about what I want to say about the situation. So he feels that women have their place. And, you know, you are to please the man, and that is your job as a woman. But there's a certain amount of indoctrination that he's pulling forth in that. And this is why he has all these women surrounding him. And Eliana is trying to tell him that in a lot of ways. So she's trying to destroy his ego. They're all seeming to try to destroy that false ego that he's carrying with him, because his false ego tells him that a man must have, you know, several women and be polygamous, and, you know, and so that's, you know, and that's a problem because he doesn't even want to try to be in a monogamous relationship. He won't even try. Even though to a lot of us, it would be the best thing and the more stable thing for his daughter. It would be. It would be. Okay. And, you know, when you look at the amount of men and women that are there, they have enough men and women to where every man could possibly have, you know, maybe one or two, you know, I don't know. I think they added like a third wife right after she had the baby. That's kind of not the best time to add a third wife unless the third wife is going to help with the child. I don't think that one did that. Hey, House of Aj. Hey. Yeah, he is a narcissist. He is. And she wants to work on him. She's doing work on a narcissist is what she's doing. Now, the best approach, the Nine of Swords in the reverse position. So I feel like Eliana needs some time to herself. You know, I know for me, I would not want to live in a compound with a bunch of other people. I would rather have like, you know, I don't know. It would depend, you know, to be honest with you. It would really depend. And I think that it's not enough interaction between everybody to make everybody feel comfortable with the situation, you know, because I'm pretty sure that, you know, they're not allowed to do, you know, it's very tightly controlled. So I feel as though a lot of the indoctrinated beliefs and then all of those other men need to be kept away from her. She just had a baby. You don't have a bunch of men around a woman that just had a baby. She needs to be off somewhere. She shouldn't be getting broadcasted. When I have another child, I know I will record the birth because I plan on having a home water birth, but I will not publicize it. So there's not enough protection. They need to do more protection. That's not enough protection. They're wide open. Anybody can write a script for them and they do it. So they're under the control of the trolls. Yeah. So they need to start looking at, you know, just because you're not in Babylon, you're still contacting these people in Babylon. You didn't move to Mexico and just stop making videos and went off the grid. You are still connected. Okay. They're still connected. So a lot of that has to do with it. But in hindsight, it's just really, it's not an ideal environment for a woman that just had a baby. It doesn't even look like or resemble a place of a woman that just had a baby. I'm sorry, there's not enough baby oriented stuff around that place because the place is accommodating several different people at once. Clarify the Nine of Swords reversed. So yeah, the Page of Swords reversed. So that represents electronic communication with people that are back in the States and the lack of mental and third eye protection. King of Wands comes up in the reverse position because there's a negative spirit that's there with them. Yeah. And yeah, so the Seven of Wands comes up in the reverse position because they seem to not have enough spiritual defense. Okay, you know, just moving out in nature is not enough because we heard the way that baby was crying. That was very, very real. That was not fake. We heard the way that baby was crying, didn't we? Didn't we, House of Aj? We heard that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It is too toxic for a baby. It's too toxic for a woman that just had a baby. She needs to be spending time alone in the sun, getting, you know, let me tell you something. If I were over there in nature, I wouldn't have a bunch of folks surrounding me. You might as well just be in Babylon. What's wrong with you and your husband going over in nature and living day to day? What, is he going to get bored with you? Well, then how is that your husband? How is that your true spiritual husband if he's going to get bored with you and he's going to need other women? So just looking from Eliana's thought process is, you know, instead of having all those people there, them and their baby could be doing better, especially with the donations that they get. They could be doing better with just the baby and her and Nature Boy and maybe one other couple. There's way too many people there. They got too many people. Okay. She had no peace. And you know what? Let me tell y'all something. That woman is not crazy. When I had my firstborn, I remember coming home from the hospital, and I remember my aunt and my uncle and my mother being downstairs. And I remember waking up out of a very deep sleep, because when you have a baby, boy, you're going to get some real, real deep sleep. And I don't know how them babies manage to wake us up to eat, because if you ain't never had no sleep, you done had some sleep after you done gave birth to a baby. But I had some kind of weird moment to where I woke up. And I woke up out of my sleep, and, you know, my baby was sleeping next to me. He was fine. But I went to the top of the steps and I yelled, "Help me." I swear to the goddess. And I remember watching myself do this, but I think the reason why I was doing that is because I had my first child. So women are going to naturally act a little weird when they have a baby, especially their first baby. Also, being a chiefess of a cult, House of Aj described it perfectly. She's going to have the mental capabilities of that. She's not there with him. She doesn't have the same vision of him. She doesn't. So that's why she goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Because regardless, if you look at your chart and you say that that's why you're fighting back, but those aspects of yourself are still very important. They want to get away. Those women that want to join him, I can definitely see the appeal. The problem is that you know, you've got to be in a higher spiritual place to do what they're trying to do. So I can see their vision, but they're just not at a maturity level. Okay. Nature Boy is not necessarily mature enough. He's got the right idea about keeping the family together and da 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 da. But he needs to take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes from a place in his family. I mean, I feel like he's trying to recreate a family, is what I feel like. And that's fine. But I feel like when you start to have children, then stuff starts to get very, very sticky. Okay? It does. She is a little girl. She's not somebody that is prepared to carry on even that position, and she shouldn't have to. That's a lot of responsibility. She's supposed to be responsible for these other women. I don't think so. So, you know, that was the whole thing with the title that he gave her. And you already know that a lot of those other women, you know, and I'm going to look at those other women in just a second, because my last card is the Eight of Cups. The potential future is for her to emotionally abandon the relationship again and say, hey, listen, I need to leave. She may not want to leave via the police, but she would rather him agree to allow her to go, because if he were to agree to allow her to go, then she would go. Doesn't necessarily mean that she's even leaving him. She's leaving all those other people. Now, so the Eight of Cups, I'm seeing in the near future that somebody's leaving. Okay. Let's look at the other wives. And I want to see if I will get similar cards if I throw the cards, because the cards that I got, King of Wands, and this is Nature Boy. Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. This must be Eliana, or maybe it's one of the other women that are there. The Fool card comes up in the reverse position as the energy surrounding one of the other women. So there is, like, what I can sense is that she doesn't trust some of the other women there. Hey, Chaz Wilson. Hey. She doesn't trust them. So if you don't have trust in the people that are surrounding you, you know, got the Eight of Pentacles. So that's the donations and stuff and the money. And then the Six of Pentacles reversed. So there is some sort of the Hanged Man reversed. Two of Swords. The Chariot reversed. The Strength reversed. and the Ace of Swords reversed. Looking at the other women, I can definitely see that Eliana can't trust those other women. Now, I would need to break them down individually, which I will try to do, and I'll try to call them out by name as far as to what energies is surrounding them. But what I will tell you is that they need cleanses and stuff. Like, they don't, like, okay, go to nature, but what are you doing? Like, what's your intent? And then also they're having sex, but what is the intent behind the sex? You said she doesn't trust any of them. Yeah, I can, I feel like she has a reason for that as well. Because again, I can sense some manipulation. I can definitely sense some manipulation on, with the other women, because, in the last thing that they had, House of Aj, they didn't even help her. None of those other women seemed to care about what was really going on. And yeah, they did all cut their hair. But yeah, I can tell that they are. So what I was going to do is pull them up, because what I can see instantly is the trust card in the reverse position is representing, deep trust issues. It's like, okay, yeah, we're sister wives, but, I'll cut you if I have to. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Oh my God. House of Aj, you are like my spiritual sister. I agree with you. I don't think they really like Eliana either. And I think the reason why they don't like her is because of the attention that she gets. But then again, I feel like they're all like most women. They want to get to where she's at. So they want some kind of ranking. They want to be above her. Mm-hmm. They want to be above her. They all want to be chiefess. Even though they say, oh, I love myself and all this stuff, deep down, it's total BS. They all want to take a shot at being able to entrap him into a monogamous relationship. So I can definitely see that one of the women are definitely trying to get pregnant by him. And I could definitely see a baby. But I want to look at their names, because the reason why I can read Eliana and Nature Boy is because I'm calling their name. I'm going to try to look at, I don't know if there's like a list of them. I don't know what I can do to. I know there's a couple of them, Nefru or something. Ooh, it's giving me a headache, y'all. Yeah, see, the only ones that anybody, really like, okay, yeah, like we know about the other women. Okay, we know about the other women, but who are they? The only people that we really see is Eliana and Nature Boy. So I'm going to try to go by sight is what I'll do. I'll go by sight of the ones that I've seen. So because that's really the only thing I can think to do. Because, you know, now I'm gonna tell you something. The most recent one, the darker skinned one, I honestly feel as though there was some negative energy around her. You know, it's just wow. Yeah, you can tell that I don't really watch them like that because I don't know all of the members involved. Well, it seems like to me the ones House of Ajay, you said if Firu is the light skinned one, she was worried about on my video. Okay, and Mama Ra is the darkest one, and Aya is the bird brain caramel skin one. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna address them in this reading individually. Thank you so much because I want to look at that real quick. I appreciate that. Ifuru, spirit guide, show me Ifuru. I appreciate this. Aya admitted that she wanted to take Eliana's place and wanted her to leave. Yeah, I can sense that, you know, and see, that's the problem. That's a part of the problem. And I feel like they're bullying her. They're actually bullying her and they're trying to push her out. And I don't think Nature Boy actually sees that. I think that he's too entranced by all of the sex that's floating around. He don't really care how they making Eliana feel. Oh yeah, I know she's manipulative as well, but I think a lot of that is survival. I feel strongly that she's the strongest person there, but then again, she's the weakest. Okay, I feel like she's the strongest person there, but she's the weakest. And they definitely have been breaking her down a lot lately, you know? Yeah. You think she's a covert narc? Okay, let me look at Ifuru. Spirit, what messages do you have about Ifuru? What energies is she bringing into the situation? Oh, shoot. Okay. A bunch of cards fell out, but they'll come back up. I don't want to do it like that. I want to, yeah. So the Ifuru, she is very manipulative. She actually got the Chariot, the Two of Swords, and the Judgment reversed, and the Magician reversed. So she's definitely one of the highly manipulative ones there, but she actually wants to leave. I feel like deep down, the Ifuru chick, she's going to end up leaving. She's going to end up leaving. I do feel like she's very manipulative because, like I said, the Magician came up reversed. So I feel like a lot of her intent is not the best. Because if you're going to go to be in a polygamous relationship, you're supposed to be going into it knowing that you have to accept these other women. And I don't feel like any of them are on board with it. I think that's why all of the problems are coming up. The Judgment card comes up in the reverse position. I feel like there is some negative spiritual energy that is around her. When did she get there, I wonder? Because I feel like there's some negative spiritual energy around her. Clarify the Judgment card. Yeah, the Lovers card comes up. So Ifuru, she feels the same way about the situation as Aya. She feels the same way because the Lovers card comes up. So all of those women want the same thing, which is essentially a higher ranking position. with him. But I feel like that one, she's gonna end up leaving. She's gonna end up leaving. I can see her as leaving in the future. Yeah. I can see her leaving. I feel like deep down she wants to leave. I don't know why I can sense that, just because this the Chariot card comes up. Because, you know, any of them can go off and do their own thing. You know, they're in another country, so you can just basically start over. So I feel like she kind of feels like the situation is holding her back. So I can see her as leaving eventually. I feel like she's using the situation for what she can. She's getting out of it what she can. Spirit, give me some clarity on the Magician reverse. Now, this is kind of concerning with the Magician reverse, y'all. That means that she's got a hidden intent, just like a House of Ajay said. Yeah, she's got a hidden intent. Seven of Swords. She's not really on board with the situation. I don't feel like it's a good vibe. I don't feel like it's a good energy. I don't feel like she brings a good energy into the situation. I feel like she's directly competing with Eliana. And I feel as though, you know, especially being that she's lighter skinned than her. So, you know how there's always that colorism thing. And so, yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily think, I think that I don't think that Efuru he's ever gonna you know, put her in that position. I don't think that he will. Unless Eliana leaves. So the only way she would get that position is if Eliana leaves. So as Ashira says, she's a pick-me chick. All right, I want to look at Mama Ra. Spirits, show me Mama Ra. What energies is on Mama Ra? What is she bringing energetically into the situation? What part is she playing in all of this? Okay. Okay. So the death card comes up for her. So she's definitely she got a lot of okay. Hell, has she left? Something tells me that she seems to be over the situation as well. Oh, you know what? She's got some man, I believe, that's back in what they call Babylon. I feel like she has a man or something. I can sense an energy that's with her. It's malignant. It's malevolent. She's got some malevolent spirits that are around her. She's got a root on her. So you know how they say you can't run from your problems? Mama Ra got a hex on her. So she needs to be bathed in the waters in the lake of Winnetonka is what she needs. And I can see it coming through her. You know, she has very beautiful African features. There's nothing wrong with the way that she looks. But I can see something very sinister attached to her. I can see something very sinister attached to her because the Five of Cups comes up. Now it is in the reverse position, but I feel like she's got, you know, she got the Five of Pentacles too that came up. And this might be the one that wants a baby. I believe she wants a baby or something. She wants to get pregnant. So I believe this is the one that's, bringing the negative uterus vibes. All of them are, but I feel like this Mama Ra person, she got something on her. She got spirits attached to her. Spirits, you don't move away from spirits. Just because you go to Mexico, your spirits are going to chase you. They're going to follow you to Mexico. Okay? Wherever you go, your spirits are going to follow. Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, well I can see that. I saw that she's over Nature Boy. But I still feel like she got some bad spirits on her. The way she homie hopping. I don't know. Maybe she was interested in Nature Boy before she got there. And then when she got there, she realized that she was interested in somebody else, Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I can tell with the death card that she has some Scorpio aspects to her chart. She got some Scorpio in her chart somewhere. It's got to be in Earth. But she's got some stuff on her. She's powerful, but she got some stuff on her. She needs to learn how to manage it. But I feel like, again, if I were a woman around all those women, I'd be sitting up there looking at them like, okay, I'm getting ready to go in my room for like the next 6 weeks. So I'm going to turn off my phone and I'll catch y'all later. I'm going to order some bonbons and some salmon sashimi with, some pickled ginger or something. Y'all know I love sushi. I've been wanting some sashimi. That's what I would have done. I feel like that probably wasn't the best person for Eliana to have over her womb. No. So again, all of those women are acting as midwives or caretakers. They can't even barely take care of themselves. So what made them think so? All of that energy went into the whole birth, the whole pregnancy. All of those women, they were laying up together. They were having sex together. They were rubbing all over her stomach. I think one of them is even breastfeeding the baby. It's another one that's breastfeeding her baby, which that's not uncommon for women to do that. Women do that all the time, breastfeed each other's babies. But, I feel like there is some kind of hex or something, some kind of sickness that's on her. That's on her. Yeah. I agree. They're all toxic for her, and they seem to, that the one that I was just doing, I forgot her name already. What's her name? Mama Ra. Just moving somewhere doesn't take stuff off of you, and see, I'm a spiritualist. So, everybody's hexed to me until I remove the hex from you. And if I see it, unless you know how to remove it from yourself. But, yeah. Yeah. You said they have a deep-seated resentment. I agree. But they have, the whole thing about it is that, again, I feel like they need a break from each other. All of them. You go and stay in your little house and I'll go and stay in my little house, and you don't even have to really know where my little house is at, but just go to your little house and I'll go to my little house and you know what I mean? Ra is attached from all of them. She's attached elsewhere. Yeah. She's thinking about people. The Eight of Swords in the reverse position comes up. So she's got some very vampiric spirits that are attached to her too. So that's what I can see. They were hiding, but I found them. This card came up and I just didn't pay attention to it, but the Eight of Swords comes up reverse. So what that tells me is that there's some negative spiritual attachments that are vampiric. I do. I can sense that. And then she definitely got a mark on her. And also it has something to do with the capabilities of having a baby. There's something about that. I don't there's some sort of infertility that's happening. I feel like there's infertility. She's got some kind of infertility. And maybe this is the one that's trying to get pregnant. But like I said, with the death card coming up, I can see her as kind of breaking apart, but then still not having any kind of love for Eliana. I just don't think that she likes her, Yeah. So that's what I was going to say is that, when you have a lot of women together like that, you got to learn how to manage all those women. These women have certain spiritual gifts and stuff that they're bringing to the table. And he's just sitting up there trying to oppress everybody, House of Ajay. He's just trying to oppress everybody. And that ain't going to work. That's why Eliana's over there screaming at the top of her lungs. And the other women are going, yeah, that's how I feel. And, a lot of them are probably better at managing the energy that they're dealing with. I'm going to throw the cards on Aya. Spirit God, show me Aya. What are the energies that Aya is bringing to the situation? I've noticed that Eliana has been wanting to leave. She didn't go through that phase when she was about to give birth. She didn't go through that phase during her nesting, because usually women will go through their phase. So that Mama Ra came after the baby came too. Those two extra ones came after the baby came. So you notice that since they got there, she's been wanting to leave. You notice. I can tell by the way she looks that she's over there being quiet, but being very sneaky. I can definitely tell that. Show me Aya's spirits. Are they coming? Yeah. I feel like Aya is more so possibly going to be wanting to leave very soon, is what I can sense from her. The moon card comes up. So it's not just, listen, it's not just them. They are highly publicized. They are unprotected. They are manipulated by social media. So I feel like she's under some kind of manipulation, just like the rest of them are. And I can sense that with the moon card, she's gonna want to leave also. I feel like she's gonna want to leave. And I can see another person somebody that is a little bit more, because you know what? Women want the same thing that a lot of men want, which is peace and quiet. And I like peace and quiet too. You know, when I'm at home alone in my house, unless I'm partying and like celebrating something, you know, I tend to talk with my indoor voice unless I'm fussing at my kids. And so Nature Boy tends to talk to everybody like he's in a classroom. And it's not necessarily like a love relationship, it's more so like a spiritual teacher. So I kind of feel as though she's more so looking at the situation to where she may or may not want to try something new in the future. So I don't really see any of these women being there for him in the future like Eliana. A lot of these other women, they don't really see this as a long-term situation. Eliana sees Nature Boy more so in as a long-term, or either she was seeing him like that. She's disconnected emotionally from a lot of the situation because it's hurt her a lot. And it's very traumatic to be holding a newborn baby in your arms or getting up to breastfeed your baby, and you can hear your husband in the next room having sex with the other wife, or either he's in the same bed with you having sex with the other wife and you're trying to sleep or feed your baby, is kind of what I imagine, because you know, he seems like somebody that's very raw and in his stuff. So, you know, that's very difficult. I feel like she's not going to be there. I don't feel like she's going to, but I feel like if Eliana like steps down, she probably would, but I feel like it would only be temporary. And then I can also possibly see her as being the one that might be getting ready to have, wait a minute, didn't Aya already have a baby? Is that the one that already had the baby, or is she breastfeeding her with a dry breast? Because I can see her, she may be the one that might be getting ready to have a baby. I can see a baby coming. That's what that Page of Cups represents. It's a child coming. Okay, so Aya, well, I feel like Aya is possibly going to end up having his child. Is he the one that she's the one that's closest to Eliana, right? I don't really see her as having much, you know, I will tell you is that I feel like those other two women are more harmful. I feel like, you know, Aya is just trying, I feel like I can see her getting pregnant. So she's definitely not going to be necessarily a threat. Yeah. Eliana has a succubus attached. I haven't seen Ra lately at all. But then again, you know, like I said, guys, I am like, you know, I probably need to do more insight in it, but I can definitely sense that they all have somewhat of like a demonic attachment to them. I haven't really looked at Eliana and the spiritual attachments that's on her. Spirit guys, show me what are the energies that are attached to Eliana. Eliana could very well have a succubus in energy attached to her, but I would have guessed that Ra had more of a defense mechanism against her, because I would say more so that it's the other way around. I felt like Mama Ra had like some kind of entity attachment to her. Because, you know, just the look on her face, it was just this total detachment, and you know, it just seemed strange and weird. But I could also see Eliana having that attachment to her too, because you know, a lot of people do have those kind of attachments to them. Yeah, She's the pacifier. Yeah. You know what? I'm looking at the cards for Eliana, and I'm actually not necessarily getting, I don't see a succubus attachment to Eliana at all. I see ancestors around her. I see ancestors that are protecting her big time, that are in the spirit realm. They're not in the physical realm, they're in the spirit realm. And she's definitely the sacrificial lamb. She is. And, but I don't see it as that. I feel like she's had some dysfunction in her childhood. I feel like she needs rest. She needs to just be able to lay down and have complete quiet for like several months. I'm serious. You know, having that many women around that are attached to your man, and all those women are going to be attached to her, and she's experiencing all of their emotions, she's not happy in that situation. 10 of Cups comes up reverse. She's not happy. And I believe that Eliana rejected Mama Ra. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like she's kind of rejecting her in a lot of ways. Like when she first got there, it was okay. But as she got to know her, it just didn't seem right. And so, yeah, I feel like it's like that with quite a few of them, even the males that are there. Because I'm not looking at the other husbands, because there's husbands. These folks got wives and husbands. There's like several men there too. I didn't even look at them. I'm too tired, y'all. I gotta go eat something. I think we got food coming. I gotta go eat some. I can't do it. I'll have to look at the husbands later. They're here, Daniela. I just want to look at the other wives, but the other men are something to consider too. But all of the women there are the ones that are in control. All of them. They're all witches surrounding House of Ajay. They, to me, it seems like he's the like the devil or the demon, and he's got all these, you know, people surrounding him, kind of like he's in nature, you know, the nympho god with the nymphets or whatever, you know, and so that's kind of how he is. But it's not an ideal situation for a woman. Danielle, they're here. Well, come get the door. Hold on, y'all. Oh, you already got it? Oh. Oh, I'm silly. Thank you. Oh, they're real fresh too. Oh, cool. Okay. All right, guys. Another thing is that I feel like Eliana needs to spend some time alone anyway with her baby so that she can tap into her creative abilities. They're all kind of living in the same house, which I just think that, you know, some people are not cut out for that. Because if that would have been me, I'd have been and lost my mind. I ain't even gonna lie. I'd have been done lost my mind. Okay. I'm eating Krispy Kreme donuts from Babylon. She is being neglected and abused. This is not a good situation. I agree. I agree with you. And I want to ask spirits about their diet, because I'm concerned about the fact that this mother that just gave birth hasn't had any meat to eat, which a lot of the essential nutrients for a mother are found in animal products, and I think they're on a B6 diet. Which is not good. I mean, if you're trying to become a shaman, you know, I guess maybe that's what they're trying to do. But be careful not to starve yourself and be so damn elevated you be starving yourself to death. Because in nature, and people, we're not vegans in nature. Nature boy. We're not vegans in nature. People in nature hunted. Okay, they hunted, and they didn't have like pounds and pounds of, out of season fruit that you can order offline. They didn't have that. So in nature, but that diet typically is not sufficient for a woman, and especially menstruating women. So, think about it. If we were meant to be vegan, then we wouldn't breastfeed our babies. If you feed off of a woman's breast, you're feeding off of a mammal, which means that you're not vegan. So I think that's a mistake. Spirits, do you think the diet is bad? Yes or no? Major arcana. This is the last question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to go watch me some TV, y'all. I'm going to get into some sitcoms. The people that left looked a lot healthier after they left. Yeah. It's something about that diet, and then maybe even the location that they're at. But let's see. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Is the diet good or bad for them? You know, everybody has to, I mean, just because they're all there, I mean, I would have given Eliana some fish or some chicken or some beef, you know, some high quality meats while she was pregnant. I wouldn't have just ate nuts, seeds, and fruits. Sorry, you know. Is the diet sufficient enough though? Yes or no? I think I was about to get a no answer. Well, I think I think that I guess they'll be all right with that, you know. They're young. So, you know, I definitely feel as though I feel like it's okay for now, but I feel like in the future, maybe they may want to, you know, but you know, I guess it's all right. I guess, you know, maybe because we're over here in Babylon, we need more meat, I guess. Maybe if you lived out in the middle, I would still opt to eat meat and fish if I lived out in those areas, you know, some salmon roe and all kind of. Salmon is like one of my favorite fish, so I love salmon. So, okay. But I feel like for now, I feel like it's okay because, you know, but I feel like what I can sense is that, you know, eventually they are going to get what they need because, you know, when a person's mind or body or spirit tells them that they need something, they're going to get it. I'm wondering what they're feeding off of, though. They're definitely feeding off of something because the sun card comes up. Maybe they can just feed off of Nature Boy and his energy. I don't know. But, you know, I feel like the diet is okay. Maybe it's because they're very young, or, you know, maybe it's because, I mean, to be honest with you, I guess if you set your mind to do something, maybe it's okay. But for me, I'd rather, you know, I guess for what they're doing, it's okay. It seems like to me, the diet doesn't seem to be, you know, efficient. Or maybe it's something that they're getting from their environment that would replace that. I don't know. Maybe they're getting some kind of natural B12 and iron and other minerals that are needed from food. So, You know, I know that for me, you know, I eat meat. I gotta go. I've got to go. Yeah, I've noticed that she seems to be very emaciated looking. She seems not, she looks beautiful. I don't want her to think that I'm saying that. She looks really, really beautiful, but I feel like her, it's something about the way her breasts look kind of strike me as sort of odd as far as like with what her body is getting nutrition wise. So it just seems like to me she's not getting enough nutritionally. So, you know, that's what I would say. Okay. Mm. I gotta go, you guys. I'm sorry. What is your question anyway? I don't even see your question in here. But I gotta go because it's almost 6 o'clock and I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat dinner. I've been sitting here working all day. I'm ready to go eat dinner. So yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, Aisha Ross, that she does need more protein, but maybe she's getting a good protein source. I don't know if they discuss their diet much, but I feel like, you know, I feel like the diet is the least of their problems at least at the moment. I feel like if the diet was better, they would be able to think better because when you're not eating and you're starving yourself, you're sort of in a different state of mind. Mm. Mm. You're welcome, guys. I'm gonna go. Thank you, House of Ajay, for coming by. She's been actually covering this story because I've told myself that I'm not going to react emotionally to this stuff anymore. And I've learned my lesson recently. You know, when it comes to this situation with, you know, their relationship and everything. But, you know, I think it's interesting, but I think that it's just not the ideal situation. It's not. And if it's not working, you can't blame it on Babylon. If it's not working, can't blame it on Babylon. You know, I gotta go. Love and light to you guys. If you guys need a private reading or either a consultation, the link to my website is below. I do hex removals, cleanses. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, every relationship has its problems. And so I feel like people need to focus on giving other people what they need. And I truly feel as though, you know, the reason why it's not peaceful and the reason why she feels that way is because of the, you know, you can't focus on what's being said necessarily, but what you can see and what's not being said. And you can kind of just tell that, you know, those women are not really commingling like that together. And, you know, to create a baby in that environment is another thing. So, yeah. Anyway, if you guys need to reach me, the link is below. Thank you so much. Love and light.